You don't get to choose who you give birth to. So you may have been blessed with only boys, only girls, or like me, I feel blessed I had a boy and a girl.
But there are differences when it comes to how you raise sons and daughters, or is there a difference? Well, one mother of three boys thinks so. Psychotherapist Abby Rodman, who recently wrote an article for the Huffington Post based on her parenting experience, and boy, this did cause quite a stir.
Yeah. Also weighing in, psychotherapist Robi Ludwig.
Oh, yes.
Mom of a boy and a girl. Great to see you, ladies. So what happened?
Abby, you wrote an innocent article.
Very innocent.
Innocent article.
Basically saying what? What upset people so much?
Well, I think it resonated with people because obviously millions of people responded and wanted to know more. And I think that there was a... raising three boys or having a family of only one gender is not what we expect when we are planning our families.
And did people say to you, are you trying for a girl? Oh, you heard that a lot, I bet.
All the time.
Did that bother you?
Did you care if it was a boy or girl?
I didn't care. I think it was a surprise because I think most of us think, okay, we're going to have a combination of the two. And then when you don't, it takes some adjusting. Yeah. You really have to get used to it. And then you have to put up with the snarky comments from people. When's the girl coming? Oh, you won't have anyone to buy a wedding dress with.
Oh, my gosh. That's
Robbie,
really rude.
Yeah. What do you think of this?
Well, when a woman is pregnant, you think about it, everybody wants to touch her belly and say, what are you having? So those boundaries really change when you have a child. And I think it's projection. People imagine everybody wants a girl never leaves her family, never leaves her mother.
Those are so stereotypes.
It's well-intentioned, and it's not true, because we've all seen boys who love their mothers and are very supportive, and vice versa.
We've seen girls who disappear.
Right. I think it's well-intentioned, but since we don't really have control over what sex we have, it's very frustrating.
Abby, you wrote something that was beautiful. You wrote about your boys. You are their first love, and you're their female prototype on how to respect and treat women when they're in their 20s and now. How have you survived with your boys? How have they been?
Are they grown?
Yeah. They're grown.
Are their brains finished?
they're mostly finished. And most days they're finished.
And how are they with women?
They're pretty wonderful, I have to say. But I think, there's so many conversations we need to have with our boys, given everything that's going on in the world and on college campuses. And we really... It's so important for moms to be that role model.
Right.
Be that voice, that first female voice that they hear, and how you feel about things, how you expect to be treated, how you expect them to treat women, and also how you expect them to treat themselves.
Sure.
And having a boy and a girl, as I do, I find that there is a double standard in some of the things. I mean, I don't care if Cody, who's 6'5", takes Uber. And does that sort of thing, or gets on the train and is coming in. I mean, I don't like him, but I don't say, I don't want you to do that. I do say it to Cassidy, who's 5'4", and tiny, and she just seems more vulnerable to me.
Little girls do have different concerns, so I understand that. In part, that's reality-based, so I understand that. But I see it more in terms of what I want my daughter to be. Like, I'd like her to be a dermatologist, because I want her to give me Botox for free, and she can flex her schedule and do well, and I want her to have a happy home life, too. So I don't really think about that in terms of my son, because I assume he'll just be okay and it'll all work out. So certainly those stereotypes exist in terms of what we want for our kids, but we want happiness for them, and I think that's the bottom line.
Health and happiness.
All right.
Thank you.
Ladies, thanks.